Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with the labour of weeks and weeks of slaving away chained to my workbench, and the result of that labour is my biggest team of custom figures to date. They number 16 in total and comprise the Serpent Society, a supervillain team in the Marvel Comics who are longtime antagonists of Captain America and his fellow Avengers. Kicking it off with probably the most notable leader the group has had, it's Cobra, who is able to contort his body into almost any shape. Cobra began life as a Marvel Legends Green Goblin figure, which honestly isn't that flexible as a base figure for customs, but certainly comes in useful when in need of scaly limbs, as I was here. And curiously, I used a plastic Easter egg to cut his cape from. Strange, but true. Next up is a big dose of girl power with Anaconda, who crushes her opponents with her superhumanly strong tentacle-like arms. And as you can see from this work in progress picture, Anaconda began life as a legendary comic book hero's Anne O'Brien figure with a TNA Wrestling Daphne figure's head. Although hard to pick, I think Anaconda may just be my favourite of the bunch, and certainly the most likely to welcome you with open arms and then squeeze the life out of you. But hey, that's women for you, isn't it? Of course, girls, I'm joking. Here is Bushmaster, who was rendered quadriplegic in an accident only to become equipped with cybernetic limbs comprising both his arms and a huge snake-like tail. Bushmaster uses a Marvel Legends Banshee figure as base with an X-Men Classics Iceman figure's head. When it comes to the tail, well, I completely built it from scratch, creating a wire armature over which epoxy clay was sculpted, similar to how I created my worm custom if you've seen my Savage Land Mutates video. Next is Black Mamba, a former call girl, but now mistress of the Dark Force. Black Mamba began life as a Marvel Legends Psylocke figure with a Masters of the Universe Evil Lyn head. Anyone have an idea of where this snake she tenderly pets comes from? I have no idea and would like to track more down, so if you know which toy it came with, please let me know in the comments below. Here is Cottonmouth, who has a bionic jaw that is superhumanly strong with razor sharp fangs. I created the elongation of Cottonmouth's jaw by cutting a Marvel Legends Dracula's head through the mouth across the corners of the lips, then stuck toothpicks at the left and right side to attach the bottom and top halves of the head, then sculpt the two halves together with epoxy clay. I think it's pretty effective. Next up is Diamondback, an acrobat who uses diamond-shaped throwing blades, many of which are equipped with anything from poison, explosives, narcotics, and acid. She defected from the team and eventually became the partner and lover of Captain America himself. My Diamondback custom was created from a legendary comic book hero's Witchblade figure with a Marvel Legends Wasp head. Here is Rattler, a Polish criminal with a bionic tail that can generate sonic vibrations, causing vertigo in his opponents. Speaking of his tail, I created this with a single piece of wire inserted into the figure, then sculpted over it with epoxy clay to give it volume, and eventually sculpted the ribbed underside texture, which runs the length of the tail up the figure's chest. Next is Asp, an Egyptian mutant gifted with the power to channel energy into electrical blasts. She calls these blasts her venom bolts. As an exotic dancer by profession, she discovered the physical exertion increases her body's store of bioenergy to fuel her power. Here is DEFAT, a mute killer possessing extended talons which contain a deadly venom. He also has a bioengineered poison-spiked bionic tail. The custom uses a Marvel Legends Lady Deathstrike as base figure, and his tail was created similar to how I created Rattler's tail, except here I used the points of toothpicks for the spikes that run the length of the tail. And now Sidewinder, who possesses a cloak that allows him to teleport. Sidewinder was the original leader of the team before retiring and passing the mantle to Cobra, who thus became King Cobra. As you can see from these work in progress pictures, Sidewinder really is a Frankenstein's monster of various Marvel Legends figure parts, all tied together with some sculpting with epoxy clay. Next up is Puffadder, the first of a second generation of Serpent Society villains. He is superhumanly strong, a mutant with the ability to inflate his own mass. As you can see from these work in progress pictures, Puffadder began life as a Marvel Legends House of M Hulk, with the toes swapped out for those of a Blob Builder figure. Then I sculpted the snake costume detail around the figure's head using epoxy clay. Here is Coach Whip, one of the more vicious members of the team. She wields metal-linked whips that generate electricity. Coach Whip uses a Marvel Legends Psylocke as base figure with a legendary comic book hero's Witchblade's hair. Her whips are by the Chinese toy company Chap Mai. You'll be familiar with their toys if you frequent discount stores, and while easily looked over, they are worth paying attention to every now and then for accessories such as these whips. Moving on to Rock Python, whose body is as hard as his namesake, plus he throws snake eggs that burst upon impact, sending out entangling strands of metallic tendrils. Interesting to note, he is at least the fourth black member of the team, so they may be supervillains, but at least they enforce equal opportunity in their villainy. And now the mysterious Black Racer, who is able to move and run at superhuman speeds. Black Racer began life as a Marvel Legends Wasp figure, with the head swapped out for a Marvel Legends Patriot one, underneath the hair of an X-Men Classics Rogue figure. Next is Boomslang, and apparently that's the name of a snake. News to me, but who knew customizing would ever teach me such interesting trivia. Boomslang's weapons of choice are snake-shaped boomerangs, and with such a weapon, he does of course hail from the Loudon Down Under, Australia. And now, finally, it's FERDELANCE, and as the very last figure of the Serpent Society I completed, seems appropriate to finish with her. FERDELANCE is a professional assassin from Latin America with retractable blades on each hand. Phew, so thanks for sticking with me to the end of a video bumper stacked with customs. Which is your favourite? Please let me know in the comments below. As ever, don't forget to also rate and share. The figures are available via eBay auctions, so check out the links to those auctions in the description beneath this video. I hope to see you next time. Bye.